was the most Mr. Rogers opening I've ever done. Okay, so this has been really stressful. I'm probably on my 4th take of this update video, and I've had audio issues, I've had files corrupt. It's just been a nightmare, and it shouldn't be. It should be fun, and it's become really stressful to the point where I didn't even publish one last Sunday. I just said, that's it, I'm gonna wait. So I started today again, same thing. For all I know, same thing right now, but hopefully I did enough testing and tweaking that it's working. So first update, RV is on the property, and that was kind of a nightmare to get us on the property, but it worked out. It wasn't that bad. And it was one of those moments that, you know, even Nikki said we should be recording this, and I was like, let me just get it on. I've already got it stuck. I think I have a little bit of footage right here of getting stuck. And that was just kind of not the greatest start of kind of some of the projects I've been doing, and then obviously trying to create a really kind of good RV entry and then truck entry to be working on the property. But let me take you around and kind of show you some of the things I've been working on. Probably the most thing I've been working on is just grooming the land with, you know, basically a brush hog, and then getting the road prepped for the second part of the road, and getting the RV pad kind of prepped and set up in that area. And I'll show it to you really quick. While I'm driving over, another fun fact was we were a couple days here on the property and it rained really bad. And to the point where when we came back from where we were, I drove over the dam and got completely like sideways with the truck. I could not get traction, even 4-wheel drive. The truck was sliding off the dam. So I have some footage, again, something I didn't want to shoot, but Nikki was like, no, let's just shoot it and talk about it. And so I shot this kind of footage of me pulling myself out with these tow straps and the mini excavator. So just something that's kind of funny. I've been on the road for over 5 years, so I've driven in really pretty much all weather. But these things still happen. I think in the 5 years I've had to put the truck in 4-wheel drive maybe 5 or 6 times, mostly out boondocking. I posted this as a reel. Nikki made the reel and I posted it, and someone thought I was faking. If that doesn't scream, I don't know you, Damien, I don't know what does, because I'm not trying to make things up. I'm not trying to create clickbait or fake stories or things that are going on. I literally couldn't stop it from sliding off the other side. And the worst thing I would do is overcorrect and end up in the pond. It took me about 20 minutes to go get my tow strap that I've never had to use because I've never gotten stuck, and pull myself out. But that was kind of the first 3 days here. I got stuck twice, which was kind of interesting, but you know, it is what it is. This is the RV pad. I've shown some footage of this. I spent some time clearing out the trees from the lower end that are dead and down, and the limbs, and getting those all ready. And then I spent some time grading the pad. There's probably over 10 feet, there's probably about a 10-inch drop. So every 10 feet, it kind of, you know, grades about 10 inches down. So I'm gonna have to build it up probably about 12, 13, 14 inches over an area where the RV is gonna need to go. So what I started to do was I started to do just that. I measured out an area, even though I drove over it with, well, actually the rock drove over it. You know, no big deal. It can be replaced. I started grading or measuring out an area and trying to figure out grade for where I'm going to put stuff. And it's not going to be that hard to do. I will have to dig some big holes and then fill in the big holes with all this junk, pull out all that clay that I can use to then build the pad up. Now, I can build the pad and not have to have a retaining wall. It could just be a dirt pad, but I'm actually gonna put in some 6x6 wood and build a little retaining wall. Not a load-bearing kind of retaining wall. I will build it like it's load-bearing, but that's not really what it's made for. It's just made for more decorative and to keep the areas kind of clean. Where gravel needs to go, gravel will go. Where grass needs to go, grass will go. Go and grow, I guess. You know, I said it wrong, but I said it right. That's weird. Okay, so then I'll also create a seating area. Imagine the RV's back there. I'll create a seating area and level this as well with the same kind of block system. It looks like a retaining wall, not really a retaining wall. I'll put that block system down. Everything else is grass, but what I've been doing, which is a nightmare, oh, I love the sun right now, it's so cold right now, you guys, is there's just rocks everywhere, right? And so I've been going through with the Mini X and the skid and, you know, plucking out the rocks and then taking them down to the pond and using the bigger rocks to kind of just go along the pond to just keep it from eroding away. And it's actually really helped. I see the pond rising where it's supposed to, which is really good. But there were some big rocks that were like sticking out like 10 inches, like this one over here. That is a big rock that took a lot to get out and a lot to move. But I think ultimately when it's all done, and you have the nice RV pad, you have a nice seating area. Nikki has some really cool idea for a deck and like a small pool, but I'll keep that as a secret until that's done. But then all this area is gonna be grass. Like I'm gonna reseed grass and have it where there aren't rocks, where it's mowable. I can come in and take care of it. On the other side of those trees, and then down in that area that still looks flat, but not flat. Nothing's flat on this property, which is okay. That's the point of the Mini X and the skid steer, is to be able to create flat areas. But I do really love that all this water is running off when it rains, and man, when it rains, and it ends up in that pond, which will be great. And then at some point on the other side, I'll build a lake, and the same thing will happen. All the water will go, and we'll have a lake. Now again, I think I've talked about this back on the road series. I don't know when a pond becomes a lake and like a lake becomes a stream, or a creek becomes a lake, or what's the size of body that makes one of those different than the other. But that'll be a pond and that'll be a lake, but it'll probably only be 3 or 4 times size bigger than that. I don't know if you guys can hear the racetrack. That's something kind of fun. We knew it was a couple miles away. You can hear it every once in a while. It doesn't bother me as much as it did day one. Day one, I was like, oh no wonder the realtor never took us here on the weekend, you know what I mean, kind of thing. But it's not anything that bothers me. And if I ever want to do any kind of rental Airbnbs or campsites, that is a good income driver, because there's a lot of people that come here and there's not a lot of places to stay. And so it's not that far. It's like 10 miles away. So you kind of sort of hear it if things are quiet. Okay, so this is just kind of an update video. What I need to start doing, and you guys can hold me accountable and let me know if you guys like watching it, because that's what's important. I mean, I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One is I want to document the process and have it, you know, just of me doing what I'm doing to this land to just make it so much more desirable, usable, and just, you know, a great place to be. But I also want it to be inspiring to anyone watching or anyone trying to learn, or maybe they don't think they can take on a project like this, because clearly if I can't, you can, 100%. So I'm thinking about kind of just creating weekly of what I'm doing, but then hopefully like take all the footage from this RV pad, and at the end of it, put it all together and have like a beginning to end kind of like how I built this RV super pad kind of area. I mean, I really want this to be what I wish campgrounds would do, what the effort they would put in. And, you know, if I really thought about like having another RV pad, I would say it would probably be about here, and it would be set back. And like, I just don't see campgrounds doing that either. They're just trying to pack everyone in, where you literally open your door and you almost hit your neighbor. And that's, you know, that's what's the point of getting out of the city to then go into the country, into a campground, and have that experience when you were just having that and probably your apartment, condo, house in the suburbs, whatever experience. It makes no sense. I'm trying to create what I really want. I'm taking the best of some of the things that I've learned while being on the road and saying, hey, I'm gonna make that experience right here. That's my update. My 4th time doing this, and I don't think I actually even got better while doing it, but gosh, I hope the sound was the biggest issue, especially with all the wind, and then putting in an external mic. I tried like 3 or 4 different mics. It was a nightmare. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna ask you guys to do me a favor. Go ahead and hit subscribe down below. About 80% of the people watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and subscribe, turn the little bell. That way you'll get a notification every week when I do these. And if you know anyone that's looking to buy land and create like a really great homestead, let them know about this channel too. And lastly, I promise you, I won't fake anything on this channel. I'll see you guys next week. Take care.